What's up, YouTube? We back with another video. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Welcome to All Pro Sports Talk, the home of the sports talk. Detroit Lions fans, it is your turn for me to talk about your team. I'm not going to say anything too bad because the media is already beating up on y'all too much. But I'm going to bring in some positives to this team, though. I'm going to also talk about some of the negatives, but we're going to talk about why this team should not be picking first overall next year, like how some people believe. Now, like a lot of teams in the NFL, bottom tier teams, they cannot protect their quarterback. But with the Detroit Lions, they went in and selected Penei Sewell, which I love. I think that this team is going to be very good up front when it comes to running the football and protecting Jared Goff. Now, I already looked at their offensive line already. You see Taylor Decker at left tackle. You have Jonathan Jackson at left guard. They have Frank Ragnow at center, who they just re-signed and gave an extension to. Love that move. One of the best centers in all of football. They also have Big V that they got from the Philadelphia Eagles to play right tackle. But I believe since they just got Penei Sewell, they're going to put him at right tackle. And they need Big V to be at right guard because he's a guard. He's not a tackle. He's an okay tackle. He's not a great tackle. Put him at guard. He's a good guy that can help in the run game. Right tackle Penei Sewell. That's one of the generational tackles in the NFL draft class. Love this move. They're adding two franchise tackles to their team. They already have Taylor Decker, who's been there for some years, and you add Penei Sewell, who's going to help protect Jared Goff going forward. Because when is Jared Goff at his best? When he can work off of play action, and when the offensive line can protect him the best that they can. That is when he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. And he's not a bad quarterback, by the way. A lot of people believe that they got finesse in the deal with the Los Angeles Rams. Not really. Matthew Stafford, they weren't getting that many wins with him. They were still a top 10 draft team, just like this year. Matt Stafford just didn't bring him that many wins. And you could say because the way the team was built around him, whatever. They tried to rebuild him for 2-3 years in a row. It just didn't work. It was time to move up off of him. They tried different coaching staff and different coaching staff. They shouldn't have ever hired Matt Patricia. That was a dumb decision. I like them bringing in Dan Campbell. He's a guy that I think he did some interim head coaching with the Miami Dolphins. The players really liked him. That is what they need. They need a new culture because Matt Patricia ran players off. He ran off Darius Slade. He ran off some other guys. They just didn't respect him. They just did not like the move that he was bringing in. He was trying to be Belichick 2.0. And in some football teams, that does not go as well as you would want it to be. Now, their wide receivers are an issue for this team. They went inside Terrell Williams. I would say that that's a good move, but he stays hurt. When he's on the field, he's a decent, good receiver, but he stays hurt, has too many injuries for me. They lost Kenny Golladay to the New York Giants, and they also lost Marvin Jones to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a big deal in the receiving department, but they also have a good tight end who was third in leading the league in receiving yards for tight ends, TJ Hockenson. He has 723 receiving yards and 6 total touchdowns as well. He was targeted 101 times, but had 67 catches. That's a good catch ratio there. He only dropped 2 to 3 balls as well. Really like TJ Hockenson, and I believe that he's going to be on pace to have a 1,000-yard receiving season. Could be this year. I know what Jared Goff loves to do. He loves to throw the big body receivers. TJ Hockenson, in case he's a complete tight end, he can block and he can get open as well in separation. So TJ Hockenson, that's probably the best offensive player on this team besides those offensive linemen. So keep that in mind when you go and look at this team moving forward. They also have DeAndre Swift, who had 521 rushing yards, 4.6 yards a carry. He had 8 touchdowns as well, and he also can catch the football. 46 catches, 357 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. He can be their lead back going forward. They haven't had consistent running back play in a very long time. The Detroit Lions have struggled to run the football for whatever reason, whether it's play calling or play design. But they're going to have this guy right here who I believe can break over 1,000 and can also help contribute in the receiving game. That's over 800 yards of scrimmage. And he was sharing the ball with Adrian Peterson. And you had to worry about Kerryon Johnson when he was there as well. And they only brought in Jamal Williams. So that could be your 2 running back set going forward. Jamal Williams can come in and run in between the tackles when it's time to get tough and gritty. And DeAndre Swift can be your playmaking guy that can run in between the tackles, run outside, and can help in the pass game as well. Like I said, man, this team, offensively, they look sound. They're there. They have a decent quarterback. They have a good running back. It seems like they have a top 5 offensive line on paper. The only thing that bothers me is that 32nd ranked defense from last year. Jeff Okudah, man, I don't know what to make of it. The first couple games or the first half of the season, he looked terrible from what I was seeing. Then towards the end of the stretch, he got a little bit better. Then he had core muscle surgery and headed his way out. I think his sophomore year would be better. We have to be patient with some rookies. Some rookies hit the ground running. Some of them don't. A lot of Detroit Lions fans expected for him to be Jalen Ramsey because he was a third overall pick a couple years ago. I think that he'll be fine. I just think that he had a rookie struggle. Also, do not forget the coach that he was playing for, the horrible Matt Patricia. Oh yeah, did I tell you how much that Matt Patricia sucks as a head coach? Because he does. A lot of the plays and a lot of the decisions that he made were just stupid. He tried to make this team's defense Patriots 2.0 and ran a similar system to Belichick. They shouldn't have hired Matt Patricia, but because the last time he was with the New England Patriots, that was the worst defense the New England Patriots had, and that was the New England Patriots defense against the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. I don't care what people say. They say, well, he's a Belichick guy. I don't care. It was a stupid move then, and it's a stupid move in hindsight. Them on defense, they have Romeo Okwara. Let's start with him. He had 10 sacks last year. Hasn't did anything like this in all of his career. He was one of the top generated defensive linemen when it came to generating pressure last year, which is very interesting to me. I don't know if he just was a one-year wonder or whatever, but they re-signed him as well. We're going to see if it's true. Let's see if he can bring it in and can be consistent with that. A guy that's not consistent with his sack production and who is grossly overpaid is Trey Flowers. 2 sacks last season, never a double-digit sack guy. I believe he's a decent defensive end, not for the money that they're paying him. That's another Matt Patricia decision. He wanted him from the New England Patriots. He was a hot defensive end when he was on the market. Right now, not as much. Doesn't generate a lot of pressure. He's awesome at stopping the run, but they did not pay him to stop the run. They paid him to get to the quarterback. So obviously, if the sack production doesn't go up with a new regime, I can see him either being cut or traded for a 5th or 6th round pick. Or maybe I'm just misreading it, and maybe he does more on this defensive line. Detroit Lions fans, let me know. But what I've seen on game film and what I've also have seen on game study, he doesn't do that much in the pass game. He just affects it in the run game. And you don't pay that type of money to a guy to only just stop the run. I'm sorry. They brought in Michael Brockers after losing Danny Shelton to the New York Giants. Damn, it seemed like the Giants just went and just got a bunch of Detroit Lions players. Really 2, but still. Michael Brockers, man, good. They got him in a trade from the Los Angeles Rams. Not a guy that's going to generate a lot of pressure up the middle consistently. He can do it from time to time, but he's going to be great at stopping the run, and he could be good at getting to a quarterback's face. He's not going to get that many sack production, but he's going to help the guys around him generate pressure as well because he's such a force up the middle. Excellent at stopping the run. Great first step. This team as a whole, their linebackers, it is what it is. Jamie Collins is still there. We'll see what he does. Veteran linebacker, veteran skill set. But this team should not be a team that should be picking in the top 3 next year, like a lot of people believe that they will be. I think the Detroit Lions could be a top 10 to 15 team in the draft next year, and I do not think they'll be picking Sam Howell or Spencer Rattler like a lot of people are saying. Do we not forget that the Houston Texans have a quarterback that does not want to come back, and even when they had the quarterback, they were still one of the worst teams in the entire NFL? I think the Houston Texans would be the worst team in the NFL, not the Detroit Lions. They have talent on this team. They just need to tap into it, and I think Dan Campbell can do that. It's going to be very interesting to see how Jared Goff is going to play with a defensive-minded head coach. I believe Campbell's defensive-minded. He was a former tight end coach. We're going to see what he specializes on, but obviously he specializes on winning the game in the trenches, and that's what the Detroit Lions are going on. They're trying to win the game on the defensive side of the football with the defensive line. They're trying to overpound people with that offensive line. So we're going to see what they do moving forward. This team is not, I'm not saying this team is going to be a playoff team. I know a lot of people are going to try to be smart. They're like, man, so you think the Lions are a great team. They're not going to be a playoff team. They're going to be better than a team that's picking in the top 5 of the draft next year. So let me know in the comment section. If you're a Detroit Lions fan and you're new, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys to stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.